Hi everyone and welcome to Women in Retail Talks. In this episode, you'll hear a short clip from Grace Killelea's keynote presentation at the 2019 Women in Retail Leadership Summit. Grace Killelea is the CEO and founder of GKC Group, a firm that focuses on developing emerging leaders in the middle of the talent pipeline. Her keynote presentation focused on self-confidence and resilience, inclusivity and networking, and how every woman has an invaluable superpower. In this clip, Grace shares a personal story of overcoming hardship, the difference between confidence and arrogance, and how women can uplift other women.
Last year, between gate 3 and 5 at Logan Airport, my left retina detached from my eye while I was walking to catch a flight. I had 3 major eye surgeries in 2018, and there was a good possibility I would lose the vision in my left eye. I also got severe double vision, and I had to wear an eye patch for 6.5 months. And here is what I did. Because if you can't hide it, decorate it. So when I walked through the world and people stared at my face and wanted to know, what the hell? Because think about the last time you saw a woman in an eye patch. Not a lot. And I said, all right, if I'm going to wear an eye patch, they're going to match my shoes. They're going to look great with my outfit. I had them custom made. Those shoes say, "Kiss my patch." Yes, they did. And I walked through the world with my head up, my eye patch on. I had 75 eye patches. And every day, I felt a little embarrassed. And there were people who stared at me. And people would say, "What's with the eye patch?" And I'd say, "What eye patch?" Because you can only screw with me for so long, people. But I was so humbled by having to ask people to help me cross the street. I was humbled that I couldn't travel. And for someone who makes their living doing this kind of work and running a leadership firm, for 2 months I couldn't get on a plane because it would be damaging to my eye. You've got to show up, and how I showed up was gratitude. I showed up and said, "People, I'm scared. Will you help me?" And you know what? 99.999% of the time, people said yes. And remember Vernice Armour? Remember that? Remember her? First African-American female pilot calls me and says, "Yo, Chickie, I heard you can't fly. Listen, if you got a gig that you can't do, I'll go do it for you for your fee and send you the money. Because I don't want you to lose your brand." Because that's what a network does. That's what friends do. Show up for yourself and show up for other people. Extend yourself in generosity. Here's the thing. Women often say to me, "I don't know, confident, I don't want to sound arrogant, I don't want to brag." Here's the difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence lives in generosity. Arrogance lives in negativity. Confidence is, "Yeah, I'm good at this, but so are you. There's plenty of pie." Confidence believes, "I can do this. Hey, I can bring you along with me. Let's figure this out together." Arrogance is, "I'm the smartest person in the room, and you're not worthy of being in my light." We know it when we see it. But we socialize girls to be nice and to not say that they're good at things. Muhammad Ali has a quote, "It ain't bragging if you can back it up." So if you can back it up and someone says, "Are you good at something?" the answer is yes. It might even be hell yes. But confidence lives in generosity, and I have been bestowed by so much generosity in my life. Suit up. So first one is show up. Say yes to things. Say yes to the things that scare you. And by the way, go to stuff by yourself. If you have a posse or a tribe or a network, whatever you want to call it, and those broads don't want to go, and it's keeping you playing small, suit up, which I'm going to talk about now, and go. Go to the conference, go to the cocktail party, take the class, ask for the meeting. I don't care what it is. Because you must walk through doors by yourself in your life. Not everything is a team sport. Not everything is a team sport. Suit up. What I mean by suit up is confidence has a physicality to it. I mentioned these statistics the other day when I was on platform. Executive presence has 3 components. When we talk to people about confidence, it has a look. We know it when we see it. It's the way you walk, it's the way you stand, it's your handshake, it's your ability to make eye contact. The 3 big buckets in executive presence are the presentation of self, your ability to communicate, and gravitas. Here's the secret. Gravitas is grit and confidence. Confidence and gravitas are an infinity loop. What? We like people who look and sound confident. We have confidence in people who look and sound confident. If I get up here and I'm like, hi, please don't look directly at me. I'm going to speak from over here, and even though I have a voice, I'm going to keep it down here and not. Maybe you guys will just, I got no game. I don't know if she's in the room, but there was a fantastic young woman that was part of the workshop that I did. You'll know who you are, young, 25, she's 25, she may have left. And I can't see where the dam on this side of the room. You better be enjoying it because I can't tell. So, oh, by the way, I named my eyes Lola and Matilda. And Lola was a showgirl, so she got to wear an eyelash for 6.5 months. And Matilda, just her job was to get better. So when I tell my friends, hey, I'm going to the doctor's, they're like, is it Matilda? Is it Lola? They're always asking me. And my husband refuses to call them Lola and Matilda. Won't do it. Won't play along. That's why I had to marry him. But this fantastic woman was in the workshop. She happens to be 25. She's very petite. She's extremely, where are you at? I really can't see. There you are. Tell me your first name. Ariel. Can I use this as an example? I'm already going halfway down the road. Just say yes, sweetheart. You're with me there. She is lovely, smart, talented, capable, petite, soft-spoken, and highly collaborative. So her voice is like this. And when she stands motionless. This doesn't have anything to do with her capability. But what I said to her is, people are going to eat your lunch. Because they're going to look over the top of your head. They're not going to hear you in the room. I said, I'm going to give you the keys to the Ferrari. We're going to give you some power. We're not telling you to not be who you are, but we need to lift this up. We need to put your voice in the room. We need to find a way for you to find your personal power. She's like, okay. And I promise you, she's already doing it. Because before, she would have been slinking out of the room going, don't call on me. But right now, here's the point. The point is, she can be any of us. With me, I need to turn things down. Me at 100%, way too much. I can't meet the CEO of a technology company, just grace. I can't do it. I can, but I'm not going to get the business. So all of us have a dimmer switch. Do I need to turn it up? Do I need to turn it down? My husband will say to you, for the most part, he hopes I turn it down. Right? My husband's a data scientist. He just wants to read data. He married a professional speaker. People say, what's it like? He goes, she talks a lot. And I do. But here's the thing. Sometimes I talk too much. And how do I turn it up, turn it down? Does that make sense to you all? So executive presence, it is less about what you wear, although you should be appropriate for your environment, always important, but more about how you present. So show up, suit up, and be appropriate for your environment. Because I'm going to talk about this gravitas piece in more length. Gravitas is your ability to stand over your own power. It's when people push, you don't fall over. It's when somebody said, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And you say something like, all right, not sure I love that answer, but tell me what's wrong with my idea. You don't just pack up your bat and ball and go home. Some of you spend so much time trying to be perfect, you never get your voice in the room. Put your voice in the room. Confidence requires that you play in the space in real time. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about speaking up. We know that 78% of the voices we hear in a co-ed meeting are male. We know that men tend to say stuff and see if it sticks. We know that when President Obama was in the White House, he had more women working in the White House than in the history of the entire, presidency. And they were frustrated because they would be talking about ideas and they weren't getting their ideas heard, but men were. So women in the White House started to do something called amplification. And that would be if Mary had an idea and she said, let's do X, and then that idea got brushed over, Sally would say, hey, let's go back to Mary's idea, and she would amplify that. Sounds terrific, right? Here's the challenge with amplification. You can't amplify silence. That requires that the first woman spoke to begin with. You must put your voice in the room. Couple of hacks here. If you speak and you are constantly interrupted, you need to ask yourself, am I succinct? Confidence is about being succinct. You don't have to say, once when I was in band camp, we don't want to hear it. We're running a business, we got a train to catch, we're getting on a plane, let's go. 1, 2, 3, say the 3 things, drop the mic, stop talking. A lot of nervousness, we try to fill in conversations with words. Confident people don't talk through silence. They talk, they stop, they listen, they wait. It is an important skill. Are you succinct and are you prepared? You cannot go unprepared. If you're going to speak in a meeting, have something to say. Don't just talk because you want to hear your voice, because then what people do is you lose your credibility. You with me? You got to have something to say. You don't have to speak at every meeting, but if the only thing you're doing is chasing your boss down the hall, going, hey, I had this idea. Nobody ever knows you're making those kind of contributions, so speak up.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at wirlc.com/podcasts for show notes. Women in Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and now on Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Women in Retail Talks.